Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to build something very easy but very useful and also very exciting. So you tap in an idea and the program generates a storybook. So for example, let's watch the demo, right? So you tap in a magical forest where animals can talk. And the website is also mobile friendly, the generated website, right? So I will show you how we build it. Let's wait for the result. Okay, here we go. Page 1, the Whispering Woods. In the heart of the world, hidden behind the curtain of silver mist, lay the Whispering Woods, a forest where the trees hummed lullabies and every creature spoke in voices as clear as spring water. Page 3, page 4, I'm not gonna read it. And you can see we have an image on the left, and for each page we also have the text on the right. And we generated several pages. So we have page 5, page 6 until page 11, page 12, and page 13. Okay, I think it looks very interesting. Maybe you could also add some advertisement to do monetization, and maybe you could also allow your users to register and log in, and maybe you accept their subscriptions and payments. So that means you can make some money. At least you can do your side projects. Or maybe if you're good enough, if you try hard enough, you can make 5 more or 10 more of the projects. So you got more chance to make more money. Anyway, let's dive in. In this project, I want to do 5 things. So firstly, I want to keep things simple. So for those of you who are beginners or you don't know how to code, that's okay. This project is beginner friendly. So just follow along carefully, and in the end, you will be able to build the exact same AI app I'm showing you step by step. And secondly, I want to make the project powerful and scalable. Although I keep it simple, but it will be powerful. Where I will be using the industrial leading tools like Next.js and Vercel, the same frameworks top developers use. So when you are ready to build bigger projects, this code will scale with you. And thirdly, to learn AI for everyone. AI isn't just a hype, it's changing everything. So instead of just watching, maybe sitting in the couch doing nothing, I want to get your hands dirty. Let's build something real. So I will show you how to use large language models and other models to solve real world problems, not just talk about it. Okay, and number 4, I want to make it live. So no more local only demos. So we won't just code. So we'll launch the website to the real internet. So by the end, the project will be live. Your project will be live for the whole world to use. And number 5, budget friendly. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, AI APIs or tokens or hostings must cost a fortune. So I know what you're thinking. So I'll show you how to use, Hugging Face and large language models and deploy, all 100% free, even no credit card needed. Having said that, of course, we can use paid services, But for this tutorial, I just use the free services. Okay, let's start. So in this project, we want to solve the exact problem as shown here. So we want to type in an idea or maybe a title of a book, then be able to generate a full storybook. So we need to divide the problems into small problems and then solve each small problems. We can do it like this. So when we type in an idea, we want to generate a story. So we use large language model to analyze the idea, then generate the story. Then once we have the story, number 3, we divide the story into small pieces or maybe paragraphs. And number 4, once we have each piece or each paragraph, we use each paragraph to generate a corresponding image. And then number 5, we assemble each story or each paragraph and each image into a page. And then lastly, number 6, we put all pages together. We get a storybook. So for number 2, obviously, we need a large language model to help us to generate a story, such as OpenAI, DeepSeek, Gemini, Claude, etc. For number 4, we want to generate an image based on each paragraph. So we need text-to-image models. I'll use Flask in this case. It's very, very good, I found. I will show you how to use a text-to-image model from a Hugging Face. For number 1 and number 6, we need input and display the final results. So we need a front end. So I will use Next.js to do this. These are the tools or framework I used to build the website or the project. So for the front end and back end, I used Next.js. It's really good. And for the large language model, I actually used DeepSeek, a free version from OpenRouter. And for text-to-image model, I actually used Flask from Hugging Face. And for deployment, I use Vercel. And these tools are really, really good. You can build very, very complex projects with them. In fact, big companies use these frameworks and tools. There are other very important components for standard projects like logins, logouts, databases like Supabase, Convex, payments like Stripe, Lemon Squeeze, etc., etc. Monetization such as advertisement, subscriptions, which is essentially how you handle payments. Also for other interesting stuff like Olama, Replicate, etc. For the sake of the length of this video, I'm not going to cover them in this video. If you are interested, please leave a comment. For the above, for Next.js, OpenRouter, Hugging Face, Vercel, don't worry, they are not very complex. Let me introduce them to you one by one. So let's firstly look at Next.js. It's a React framework for the website. It enables you to create high-quality web applications. Basically, you use it to build web applications or websites. I really like it. It's very fast and it's very good. And the front end and the back end are in one place. You can build the routes or the page routers very, very quickly. For example, under the main folder, app folder, you define your page, your home page or your landing page like this. You will see hello world or hello Next.js. So basically, this page under the main folder is your home page. And if you put another directory, for example, like this, you put a blog folder under your main folder, then you get your /blog navigation or link here. That's it. It's very simple to build application or your pages. Okay, and I will go into more details when we start to build our application. Now let's look at the OpenRouter, which we are using to invoke the free DeepSeek. So OpenRouter is called the Unified Interface for LLMs. Basically, it allows you to invoke all these famous models like Gemini, OpenAI GPT, Claude, Sonnet 4, etc., etc. So if we press the models, we can see there are so many models here, right? So from the most famous OpenAI GPT, if we tap OpenAI, you can see we got GPT-4 mini, GPT 4.1. So if you invoke GPT 4.1, it's $2 per million input tokens and $8 per million output tokens, right? We want to use the free model. So if we just search free, you can see the first one is the DeepSeek V3 free. So it's $0 per million input tokens and $0 per million output tokens. And you got other free models, DeepSeek R1, which allows the model to think first, then answer the questions. This is May the 28th, and there are other free models like the Google Gemini 2.0, which allows you to have 1.5 million context, right? The DeepSeek only have 164,000 contexts, but Gemini has 1 million context. And you have Queen from, I think from Alibaba. I also really like these models. Right, this is a Queen 3 235 billion parameter version. I really like this one. It's also free. So if we go back, this is the one we're going to use for our large language model. So if we press this, we can see an overview. We can see the providers and the apps that build using this free model. You can see Silly, Taven, Rucode, Klein, right? A lot of people using this model in Klein. That means it will be free. So Klein in VS Code is like a cursor. Okay, many people use it with light LLM. Excuse me. So how do you use it? Basically, you go to the API and create your API key here. Then you got the code you can copy, right? You can have the Python version, TypeScript version, and OpenAI compatible version. I'm gonna show more details later. It has big models, from big companies, and you only need one API, right? So if you create your API key here, you will be able to use your GPT-4 mini as well as DeepSeek and all other models. And with Hugging Face, I think it was started, I'm not really sure, it was started for research purpose. It has about maybe more than 100,000 pre-trained models, and you can upload your own models here as well. And a lot of models are open source, and you can download the open models. So if you look at the left-hand side, you have text-to-image models, which we are going to use, and you have text-to-speech model, which I haven't covered in our demo, but we can certainly use this to make someone read your story, right? So you got pictures, you got story, and you got voices. So if we zoom in, we click this, you can see the category multi-modal, right? So image text to text, any to any, computer vision, image to text. So if you have an image, you can convert it back to a text. Actually, let's go to text to image. This is the one we're going to use. So I really like the Flux model from Black Forest Labs. They are really, really good. I think the people behind, the people who created this company, they were working for Stable Diffusion. And they have several versions of the Flask 0.1 model. The Schnell, how to pronounce it? The Schnell is the open source version, I believe, and you have the dev version. You have the recently published model called Context, I believe. It's really, really powerful. But in our tutorial, in our video, we will be using the Schnell version. It has the license Apache 2.0. You can see even last month it has more than 700 people downloads the model. As you can see, the quality of the image it generates, although it's I think I can say it's not the most powerful model from Black Forest Lab. And you got the code example how you download them. So I think I can call Hugging Face is like a supermarket with open source models and a lot of pre-trained models. Also a lot of data sets if you want to train your own stuff. You can download a lot of data from here. So if we click the models, let's see something interesting, maybe text to video. If we click this, we go to the first one, and you see it has model card. It's a community, files and versions. If you come to files and versions, you can download the models here and run on your own computer. So we come back. Is there any example here? Oh, really brilliant, you see. So these are the GIF previews for quick viewing. So final video higher quality. You see, it looks really, really good. Look, it's like a Game of the Throne. Oh, you see the quality. You have the fire on the hand, looks really, really real, or maybe movie quality, which converts video from here to a movie-like video, right? And you see this is like a Chinese or maybe Japanese lady. Okay, another dragon. Okay, oh, it changed the face, changed the background, changed the whole scene, but using the reference video. You can see the future. To do a movie, it becomes much easier. Okay, so this is Hugging Face. Let's see if we have any other more interesting models. So we see the vision. Let's see if we have something text to speech, which I didn't use in the example, but probably we can. We see if there's an example here. We do hello world. It's such a beautiful day. Oh, I don't have free credits. Anyway, let's come back, see if there's any other. Let's try this one. This one has 1.6 billion downloads. Let's do. Oh, this is there's the example here.
model with 82 million parameters. Kokoro is an open-weight TTS model with 82 million parameters. Despite its lightweight architecture, it delivers comparable quality to larger models while being significantly faster and more cost-efficient. With Apache-licensed weights, Kokoro can be deployed anywhere from production environments to personal projects.
It's really good, right? So you can invoke the models using the code here, and you can also deploy using the inference providers to run the model in the cloud. So from different providers. So we'll be using Flux for free, which I'm gonna show you later. Of course, you have other providers like the one here. This is Replicate. It's replicate.com, and you have a lot of models here. You have image models, video models, text models, but I don't think they have free models. Maybe they have free models. Maybe you have free credits, but you see these models are really, really good quality. This one is from ByteDance. Okay, this is the one as I mentioned before. Flux Context Pro is from Black Forest Labs. Let's go in here. So it charges $0.04 per output image, and you can use it commercially. I believe many people have already used this to build their applications. You see the image they generate a really, really high quality. Okay, and you have Node.js, Python, HTTP. You apply the API key and you can invoke the model. Now that we have covered the tools and the frameworks that we are going to use, and finally, let's dive into coding. So firstly, we want to create a Next.js project. So we copy the command from Next.js official website and paste it into our terminal. Of course, you'd better create a folder first. In this case, I call it video_1, etc. So when we run the command, we can accept all the defaults, and then the project will be created very soon. So after we created our project, we can do npm run dev to run the actual project. Of course, we need to go into the my app folder, do npm run dev. So the server will be started. So if we go to localhost 3000, we can see the Next.js project is created. So we cancel the server and we can start our editor cursor. So we use a cursor dot, so we will load the project. And you can see the project structure is here. So the main folder is the app folder. So under the app folder, you have the page txs, which is the landing page or the home page. So we want a Hello World application, so we delete everything. And cursor suggested us to, to Hello World. So when we need to restart the server and then refresh the page, we got Hello World. So that means everything is working. So let me zoom in a little bit for you guys to be able to see. So this is a cursor editor. It's very, very powerful. If you haven't used it before, you can download it. If you don't know how to program, don't worry, just follow what I'm going to do later. So what I want to do here is to create a directory called text to image. And this will be our API. Of course, I later discovered I actually made a mistake here. But anyway, so the idea is in this API, we will invoke our large language model to generate our picture. So we go Hugging Face and we find text to image, and we find our desired model. We want the Flux 0.1 Chanel, and we can go to the inference provider, and here we need to select the Hugging Face inference API because we have some free credits there, and we select the JavaScript code example. We copy all the code, and then we go to the cursor AI, we paste the code there, and we just ask a cursor to help us to write our API. So we say the above is example code from Hugging Face. Please, help us to do the correct version for our API. We want to create some images based on the input text. In order to let the cursor know exactly which file it is going to edit, so we use the at root.tsx. We locate the file for cursor. So we just need to wait cursor to finish and to edit our file. So cursor finishes and it finished coding as well. We can examine the code a little bit, but in this until now we haven't done any coding yet. All we need to do is to accept the changes. So because we are invoking Flux from Hugging Face, so we actually need the Hugging Face API key. And to safely store the API key, normally you need the .env file. So we ask the cursor to create the .env file for us. And to get the API key from Hugging Face, all we need to do is to go to Hugging Face and go to access tokens. I already created the access tokens myself. You just need to create a new access token from here. So accept cursor helped me to create the .env.local file. All I need to do is to paste my environment, my Hugging Face API key here. Okay, now that we have the backend and we added the Hugging Face API key, we need something to invoke the backend, right, to generate the picture. So we come back to the home page and we ask the cursor to add a button on the home page, and we specify the home page, which is page.tsx under the app folder. And we say when the button is clicked, please invoke the backend API text to image, and also display the result URL and the picture generated here on the home page. So after we send our requirement to cursor is thinking, and what it does, I think it invoke Claude and large language model using specific prompt. And now it actually generates the code for us. I just accept the code and come back to the page, then refresh the page. Actually, we already see, we got the different input box. We got the button here, generate image. Really nice. So let's see how it works. Okay, so we can tap astronaut riding a horse and press the button. Now we see an error, unexpected token. So what we can do is we can open the browser console and we just copy the mistake or the error and send it to cursor, ask a cursor to help us to fix it. So Command L to open the cursor agent, and just type in, just paste in the error and say, I got the above error when the button is clicked. Please help us to fix it. And cursor will be syncing. Okay, so cursor figured out the problem. So the cursor API or the Next.js API should be called API. Should be a folder called API under app folder, but I didn't create the API folder. So cursor is suggesting to create the folder and then put the text to image folder, which I created earlier in that folder. So I just I just accept cursor suggestions, and then I think cursor is creating that folder and also move the root.txs file to the correct location. That file we created earlier, to invoke the Flask API. Okay, we accepted the changes and refresh the page. Now let's tap in our title or our idea. We still use astronaut riding a rabbit, maybe. Press generate. So it's generating, and boom, it's really interesting. It's a really huge, fat rabbit astronaut is riding. So we got the URL, we got the picture. It looks really, really interesting. Let's move on. Okay, so what I want to do now is to save the generated image to our local desk. So I create a folder called images under public, generated images under public, and then I can go to cursor. Firstly, let's select our API, API / text to image / root.tsx, and we tell the cursor agent, please save the generated image into /public / generated _ images. So cursor is syncing and will help us to so it suggests to create the folder first, which I already manually created. So we just accept, just click the run, and cursor is doing something else. It's making the new code. Okay, we've got the new code. I just accept the new code. Oh, the cursor is the agent is still trying to do something. Okay, let's do something new. So astronaut riding a horse. See what happens. Okay, we got the image, and we need to check our local folder, generated image. Okay, we successfully saved the image. Let's try, maybe try something stupid. So a horse riding an astronaut. See if it works. No, it doesn't. So it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Let's try something else. Maybe we still use astronaut. Oh, my mind is just very limited now. So let's use astronaut riding a butterfly, maybe. See what happens. Okay, so it's not something we want. It's just a butterfly wings behind the astronaut. But it's interesting, right? Anyway, let's continue with our goal. So let's review our flow sequence or flow diagram. So we kind of implemented number 4, right? So we can generate an image, using Flux from Hugging Face. So that's text to image model. So now we need to generate our story. So we need large language model we need to invoke large language model to generate a story based on our idea. Okay, so let's do that. So just like what we did for the image part, right? Let's create another API called generate story. So here we need to invoke, here's the place that we need to invoke our large language model to generate story based on the input idea or input title. So I showed you OpenRouter before. So let's just search free, since we want something free. So the first one is DeepSeek V3. We just use the DeepSeek model. There are a lot of other free options that we can use as well. Okay, we open the page and we can go to the API tab. Here, if you don't have an API key, you can simply create an API key. It will work for all your OpenRouter models. And you got example code for Python and TypeScript. And we just use the OpenAI compatible TypeScript. So what we will do is it will be exactly the same as what we did for our Flux text to image model. So we can simply copy the example code and give it to Cursor, ask a Cursor to help us to implement the backend. So in Cursor, we just paste the example code here. After we select the file, the correct file that we want to modify. So we can type in our additional requirement. We can say the above is the example code from OpenRouter. Please help to create the corresponding backend API, which takes the user inputs and generate a story. Okay, because we use OpenAI compatible version, so we need to install the OpenAI module or library. So Cursor agents helped us generate the codes, and also suggested that we need to add the OpenAI API key in the environment file. So we just accept its suggestions and paste in our OpenAI, our OpenRouter API key. Okay, we got the generated code. We just accept the code. So we have the backend API to generate our story. So we need to go to the front end. We want to use exactly the same button. So we tap to Cursor. Please invoke the backend API and pass the user input and generate and display the generated story on the home page. Okay, so Cursor agent actually added new code in the front page as well. You can see it actually made a lot of changes for the front page, for the home page. It added another column. Why? Let's actually accept the codes and see the new page, see what it looks like. Okay, so it actually gave me two different functions, image generator and story generator. This is not what I want, but let's see if the story generator actually works. So I can tap in a robot discovers emotions and so what is the example? And learns about humanity, and just press OK. It can we can also select a different style and different lengths. Okay, I choose fantasy and 200 to 400 words. So is it working? Let's wait a little bit. So the console, oh, we got the generated story. The Awakening of Bot 7. Okay, we got some story here. It even gave me a copy story button. Let's do something interesting. We paste the story into the image generator, see what's going to happen. What kind of image it will generate? Oh, it's a robot with an earth and a human in his brain. Interesting, right? But this is not what we want. But at least we got the story generator working, the image generator working. Let me just use the title to generate another image. Okay, right. We got another image, but this is not exactly what we want. We want a storybook, right? We want to have several pages. So let's come back to cursor and tell the agent that we specify the home page, right? So we tell the agent, I only want one text input and one button. Okay, so when the button is clicked, it will generate both the image and the story automatically in the same time. Okay, it seems that we've got the new code. Okay, we actually got the new page as well. We only have one input box and one button. So it's generating both the image and the story in the same time. However, we only have one image and the whole story. So this is also not exactly what we want. Let's modify it a little bit. So I think this is the most important prompt that I gave to cursor for this specific project. So I say the result is good, but I want the story to be generated first, about 200 words, and then for each paragraph of the story, generate an image. Finally, display the result like a book, where each page has an image and a text paragraph. Okay, now I got the modified codes, and this, and okay, now let's go back to the home page, generating your storybook. Okay, the page is mobile friendly, as you can see. So generating image number 13. Okay, brilliant. So this is exactly what we want. We got page 1, page 2, and each page we have image and the corresponding story paragraph. So this is actually what I showed you earlier in the beginning of this video. Now, if I make the window smaller to simulate what you see on the mobile phone, you can see it works quite well. So the image is on top and the paragraph, the story is underneath. Okay, back to my initial goals, right? I think I keep it simple. We didn't we didn't code anything, right? So we just use cursor to help us to code. And we used Next.js as well. I think it's powerful. It's the latest framework. All big companies use it. And we learned AI. We use the text to image, the Flux model. We also invoked the DeepSeek free version from OpenRouter. So now we want to make it live. So in order to deploy it to the public, so we will be using Vercel. In order to deploy it to Vercel, we need to publish to our GitHub repository. And so firstly, we create a README file first. And this is our default README created by default, right? So I just copy the content generated by the cursor agent and put it in the README. Then we log into GitHub. And we create a new repository. We just need to type in the repository name. In my case, I call it video 1, adhere to production. And I can keep it for public and just create the repository. And then we have the instructions here about how to push the project to our GitHub repository. We just need to follow the instructions. So firstly, we do git init, then we do git add everything, then we do git commit the first commit, and then we do git branch main, and then we add the remote, and lastly we do git push origin main. So we will get everything on GitHub, all our source code on GitHub, apart from the ones specified in git ignore. So if we refresh GitHub, we can see our source code all here with the README underneath. Okay, now let's deploy our project to the whole world. So we will use Vercel to do that. So all you need to do is to log on to Vercel with your account. So I use my account to log into Vercel. If you use your GitHub account, then Vercel will link your repository to Vercel. So effectively, I pushed my source code to GitHub. So once I log in to Vercel, I can also link all my GitHub repositories to Vercel. So now you can see I'm installing the maybe the plugin for Vercel. Now you can see I already see my GitHub repository in Vercel. So all I need to do is to copy the environmental variables first into Vercel. Remember, we have the .env file. We can simply select all and copy all of them and paste them in Vercel. And then we can simply click deploy. And after a while, then we see this congratulations screen. And that means the website is officially live on internet. Okay, now you see the storybook is generated. Of course, this was my previous demo, but you should be able to generate the same results if you follow the instructions. Of course, one can do a lot of things, a lot more things to make it more interesting. For example, you can add a text to speech model to read the story out. And you can even use text to video model. So instead of generate the static image like I show you here on the left, you can use videos on the left. And then you have video and speech that make it more like a movie rather than a storybook. So you have a lot of things that you can do. And you can also add a login system, databases, and maybe also payment system as well, using like Superbase, Convex, Strap, Lemon Squeeze, etc., Caloric, etc. So having said that, that actually concludes my video. If you found this video is helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please also feel free to leave any questions. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And I will try to answer them in my next videos. Thank you and bye-bye.